This is Andy Purewal for ID Boxing. We're here in Liverpool and I'm joined by former world champion Liam Smith. Liam, firstly, how are you?
I'm good, mate, and would you?
Good to hear, I'm all good. First time we've caught up in a while. Let's just kind of go back to Jessie Vargas first and foremost. We never had a chance to speak after the fight. Some times past, reflect on that night, that stoppage win for me and what it meant to you to kind of put to bed that rivalry.
Yeah, it was just a good win all round for me. You know, for the personal advantages I had and the you know, just how can I put it, like the realisation of fighting at Madison Square Garden and you know, taking everything in was a good thing for me personally. But obviously to get rid of I said before, it was an itch that needed scratching with Jessie, and then obviously to get rid of that now and put to bed, not so much the rivalry, but you know, I said I'd be the first to stop him and I did, and I was happy the way it went.
How satisfying of a victory was it because of what had gone on in the build-up?
Yeah, it was satisfying in many ways because obviously I'd wanted it for so long and I'd waited and, you know, missed my path for so long, and then when we finally got to it, Jessie was just so out of character and just so riled up. Yeah, and just how riled up he got Jessie in that fight week was just out of character for him, and that's when it hit its home, and I just thought, I'll make you eat your words, so to speak. He said to me every time he hits me and I smile at him, he's going to keep on hitting me, and you know, that's what I'd done. I was happy that I said I'd stop him, and I did. You
come back, obviously get back into the UK, and you've got your next fight date announced, but before that you obviously teamed up with Sky, and a lot of people had assumed that you teaming up with Sky was going to lead to a fight with Chris Eubank Jr. Can you just kind of give us some type of understanding if that was ever in play? Yeah, and it probably still is in play. Whoever he fought next was irrelevant to me. Made no decision. People are saying, "Ah, he's not fighting you now. He's fighting Conor Benn." You know, unless Conor Benn beats him versus Benn has no bearing on my path going forward. You know what I mean? With if Eubank's involved in it or not. I was fighting September 3rd regardless. Chris Eubank was gonna have a fight, and then we may have fought second time round. That's still the case. If he beats Conor Benn, I beat Hassan, we might fight next. It's a fight that could be made, can be made, and might be made. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I didn't sign with Sky just to fight Chris Eubank Jr. So what exactly is the plan then that Sky laid out to you when you decided to sign terms with them? The plan really, I don't mean this with any disrespect to anyone, the plan really will speak for itself if I don't fight Chris Eubank. I beat Hassan, I still keep all my rankings at 154, and until I'm in a position really that people can go for it, like, it's just going to be interesting to see what Charlo does with these belts and who he fights next. If he fights Tim Tszyu, if he fights the IBF mandatory, and what titles are going to become vacant. If not, I have to force myself to beat Hassan, and then, you know, my next fight will be a final eliminator then, and then I'll be mandatory. So, what made you land on the opponent of Hassan Mwakinyo? People will obviously remember him over here from his shock victory against Sam Eggington a few years ago. Yeah, I'll be, again, I don't know whether I'm allowed to say it or I should say it, but this was Sky's preference. I didn't want to mention Hassan. I mentioned, you know, there was other people mentioned, but Sky wanted this fight, and Sky thinks Hassan's a good fight, so he's got a good name over here, beating Eggington, and he's unbeaten since, and he's just beat Julius Ndongo. So, you know, it's a banana skin type fight. You know, he can punch, but without being disrespectful to Sam, I'm not Sam Eggington, and you know, I won't take my eye off the ball, and I'll beat Hassan the way I should beat Hassan. So I mean, with you saying that as well, who was you actually proposing to Sky as potential opponents? You know what, I would. It was anybody really, you know, but Hassan was never ever mentioned. Hassan, I would never pluck Hassan out the air and think, you know what, he's a good fighter. There's names who I was linking with, just fringe, you know what I mean? It's a non-title fight, so again, I'm not going to fight a world-class 50-50 fight. My first fight for Sky. Sky wanted basically a fight to announce I'm back on Sky, and I think this is the perfect fight for it. Leaving Matchroom and DAZN, Liam, given the work you've done with Eddie over the years, was that difficult? Was it easy? Or? No, look, again, it's getting blew out of proportion, and it's getting
I left Eddie. I didn't leave nobody. I was not tied to nobody. You know, I was happy with everything Eddie done for me in the deals I made. I done a 3-fight deal with him. He gave me the 3. Then, you know, after I fought in Russia, he come back on with a 2-fight deal, which started with Anthony Fowler, and I took that, and I was on a good run of form with him, and I was in a good place with him. But look, you know, I think I had to do what was best for me and my family, and I'm sure Eddie's seen a million of me come and go, so I'm sure he totally understood my situation in that. Sky offered me something that I couldn't really say no to, and I'm sure Eddie understands that, and he knows boxing is not stupid.
Did Eddie make an offer to try to keep you?
Yeah, he did, but just, you know, he did, and Sky just guaranteed me something that really Eddie couldn't guarantee me, so that was just the final straw, really.
We spoke about Eubank Jr earlier and that Conor Benn fight. What are your thoughts on it, Liam? Is that 157? I saw Tony Sims' comments yesterday that Junior's not allowed to weigh more than 158 and a half, otherwise the fight will be cancelled. So just knowing that knowledge as well, what are your thoughts?
I think Eubank will weigh in 158 and he'll pay Conor Benn 100 grand. That's a fucking given. I'll bet money on it. I don't even want to say, because I said it last time and I get fucking called as if I'm getting called bitter, but you know, I can't get called bitter because I've just told you the situation. Whether he fights Triple G next, whether he fights Conor Benn next, or whether he fights fucking Kevin McCauley next, it's irrelevant to me and my schedule. He's going to take a fight next, whether it's Conor Benn or not. So my point on the fight is, take the Benn Eubank rivalry out of it if the dads. I can't believe. Do you know if I sit here now and call out, it's not even funny, Dalton Smith, and I'm not comparing Dalton with Conor Benn. Conor Benn's a little bit higher up in the thing, but Conor Benn's a proper exciting prospect still, coming up to challenge for world titles or whatever it may be. But it's not like he's calling a fucking Teofimo Lopez out at 140 or 147 or something like that, do you know what I mean? Or like I don't know, Spence or a Crawford. He's calling out Conor Benn because of the dad rivalry. He should be getting slaughtered for it, in my point of view. You know what I mean? He should be getting fucking, yeah. If I call Jack Catterall out tomorrow, he's a light welter. It's the same comparison. Besides the dad's fighting, if I start calling Jack Catterall out or Josh Taylor or somebody like that, there's a full stone lighter. So that's my take on it, really. Besides the dad's name, it's a middleweight calling a welterweight out.
So I mean, on that knowledge and what you're saying as well, then I assume you expect quite a explosive performance from Junior against Benn.
I think it will be like, look, I do think it'll be interesting with Eubank doing 157. I don't think he'll do 157, I think he'll do 158, but it'll be hard for him because he doesn't carry much fat. So I think that will take its toll on him, but I do think the size is a bit too big. I think Conor Benn will have massive success early on. Whether he can hurt Eubank or not, I don't know. That'll be interesting to see on the weight, but I probably look at it not as brutal, but like I probably look at like Conor, Golovkin and Brook. Brook had success early, come out covered in glory because of the shot he landed, but inevitably he was too small, and I think that's what will probably happen with Conor Benn, to be honest.
Liam, I just want to get a word on Joe McNally as well. He seems to really kind of started to gain recognition as a good, not just a good, but a very good trainer with the success he's had with you and JJ Metcalf, amongst others in the gym. How highly rated should Joe be now? Yeah,
he should. He's getting the credit he should deserve now. Jokes for Van Declan. You know, there's not just one, there's two of them, and they work well together. So they're getting, like they're reaping the rewards. That people are noticing them now, and everything's helping in that sense. Obviously, the work they're doing with David Price got them noticed a little bit. Now with myself is getting them noticed, more eyes on them, and that's getting people realising, you know, what they're good coaches. So they're getting, they're starting to get the rewards they deserve, really, because the time and effort they put in the gym together. The good coaches and the young coaches, so you know, hopefully they're going to be here for a long time.
Caoimhin Agyarko announcing his move up to this gym today as well. Potential sparring there for you on the doorstep.
Yeah, obviously, you know, the more the merrier. There's JJ Metcalf in the gym also, 154s. If I ever need sparring, they're always there to help, and vice versa. If they ever need sparring with me, I'm there to help. But, you know, we don't really need that much in-house sparring. We get enough sparring partners down here, and, you know, we get the sparring partner to suit the opponent. So, obviously, again, if we need each other, we're here. But
Callum Smith, your brother, getting ready to return to Saudi Arabia to fight in WBC final eliminator. Just getting on Callum, how's his camp gone?
Yeah, very good. Getting better and better. Exciting to watch around Buddy McGirt. A pleasure to watch the two of them together. And I'm excited to see where they can go, because they're just getting better and better with the camps and the sparring. And I think they're a match made in heaven.
What are you hoping to see from him out in Saudi?
Just another dominating performance. I think Castillo, the knockout got a lot of praise, but the result really, I don't think he got the praise he should have got for that result. And it was a scary knockout, so that might have took the shine off it, but it was a proper statement. It was something Bivol couldn't do, it was something Marcus Brown couldn't do, and he done it in devastating fashion. And I just think he's going to be a force at light heavyweight too. He was a huge super middle, and then I think he's going to be huge light heavyweight too.
Do you know much about Bauderlique?
Yeah, I know he's a good boxer. Callum sparred him years back in the amateurs, and you know, he's a good Saudi boxer, went to the Olympics. Yeah, but I think Callum's going to be a different beast at light heavy.
I mean, obviously he's in a WBC final eliminator. The man who holds that's Artur Beterbiev, who is no easy task for anybody. How difficult of a proposition would that be for Callum to attempt to overcome if he does end up crossing paths with you?
Yeah, a massive fight, obviously, a unified champion, and that's what you should be fighting for, unified titles. Somebody like him, you beat him, you deserve everything you get. It's a mad one because I rate him and I can punch in that, but again, I told Joe Gallagher and Callum Johnson years ago, he's vulnerable, and I said that I'd seen a lot of him, and I'd paid attention to a lot of even his early fights, his sparring, and I said to them, he's vulnerable, and he hasn't got the best chins himself, and then Callum Johnson goes out and drops him, and I still think that is the case with him. I still think he's got his own vulnerabilities, and it's just someone to have the balls really to exploit that.
Usyk-Joshua 2, what's your thoughts as we get ever closer to that one?
You know, I'm starting to fancy Joshua as well. I just think he's got to just do it right. He can't stand in that box, Usyk. So I just think he's got to pressure him with the right frame of mind, and I think if he does that, he can win.
What did you make of his link up with Robert Garcia?
I like it, because I like him as a coach. Yeah, I think he's a very good coach, and I think he's a coach who likes to fight. He's a coach with a style that I think Joshua needs to beat Usyk, if that makes sense.
Right then, we'll leave it there now. Leave you to shoot off. Enjoy the rest of your
Nice
day.
one, mate.
Thank you for speaking to me and ID Boxing.
Nice one, thanks mate.